welcome to another perfume haul. Guys, I said to myself that I want this channel to also be like a perfume archive. So I know and you know all of the fragrances that are in my collection. And so I want every perfume to have the chance to shine in a perfume haul. And then after that, if I use it or if I think it fits a certain selection or a certain theme, it's going to appear again. But that's why today I am going to show you all of the new ins in my perfume collection. Let's start with a love at first sniff. I think this perfume house is very underrated. I actually have never heard about it before until I stumbled across it, and I searched for all of the perfumes, searched all of the notes, and then I saw this one and I had the feeling that it was going to be a favorite, and I was correct. This is Ambre Superfluide by Les Eaux Primordiales, and this is a niche perfume house with very interesting perfumes, but this is the only one I have sniffed so far, but it was a 10 out of 10 for me. This is a apple cinnamon kind of fragrance. So in the realms of Harrod by Parfums de Mali or Ambre Narguilé by Hermès, the Privé line. But those ones, the Hermès one is a little bit more thick. The Harrod one is a little bit more masculine. And this one to me has this freshness to it, which makes it more wearable than the other ones. This one to me smells a little bit like the air you smell at a Christmas market, because you have this cozy Christmassy feeling with the spices, with the fruitiness from the apple, but then it has this freshness and this airiness to it, which makes me think of just the air, like smelling this perfume or all of the aromas in the air. I like it a lot. The day I got it, I smelled it, immediately fell in love and wore it the next night for a very super special event, and I felt super good about it and I was so happy with my choice. It's long lasting, but it's not something that is like a beast mode when it comes to how it makes you feel. You can smell it yourself for a long time, but it didn't make me sick or it didn't give me like a headache. It's super smooth and well-rounded and just so well made. And the event I attended was from Amouage. So this was a super special event, super special evening. We got to know the CEO of the brand, the creative director, one of the perfumers, and it was such a beautiful evening with lovely people. And in our hotel room, they had a perfume for everyone. And so I just opened it up before this video. I didn't get the chance to open it up before, but this is Honor Woman. And I haven't smelled a lot of Amouage fragrances before. I have known the brand for a long time, but only the men's selection. And from what I smelled that evening, because I got the chance to smell a lot of the perfumes that evening, the men's selection is quite typically Arabic smelling, a lot of deep notes, very strong perfumes, strong performance, very elegant. And the women's selection was typically very elegant and classy and quite light and floral with a lot of powderiness in a lot of them. So Honor, I just looked up the notes. It has quite an array of notes. So it has rhubarb and coriander, pepper, then it has a load of white flowers like tuberose, jasmine, and then the base is very deep with opoponax, vetiver, amber, leather, frankincense. And this to me smells like a very bougie, slightly vintage leaning soap that you get in the most beautiful chateau hotel. It's so creamy and elegant and fresh. It's super nice. The only thing is that I have a thing with jasmine and tuberose. A lot of times they're just too much for me and on my skin. I haven't tried this out on my skin, so I definitely have to. But I think more so in the spring and summertime, because this to me is not really a fall winter time perfume. But a lot of times if I smell something with a strong tuberose and jasmine note in there, I don't like it from the first second on. And when I smelled this, the first moment I smelled it, I was like, this smells good. So I'm unsure. I mean, I love coriander, I love rhubarb, and I love amber and frankincense in my perfume. So I have to give it a chance, because even though it has those two notes, I think this is not going to be one that is like very strong and shouting at you with very indolic headache white florals. It's more subdued. But let's see. The next one I have been wearing before, and this is Café Rose by Tom Ford. This was in the Privé line before, and now they have it in their signature line. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but I haven't smelled the original before. This one I was unsure of when I first heard about it, because I already have a lot of rose perfumes in my collection, and rose is something I have to be in the mood for to smell like. When I saw the Café in the name of the fragrance, I was a little bit more intrigued, although there are a lot of coffee and rose combination perfumes out there, and I have some of them as well. So it to me doesn't smell like those at all. Like if you think of Intense Café by Montal, doesn't smell like that at all to me and on my skin. I don't like it too much when I smell it straight up from the bottle, but on my skin it's just magic. It's so elegant, but it gets a little bit creamy, like almost like a creamy rose body lotion with some spices that remains quite fresh, but has some deepness to it. I'm not too sure if there's patchouli in here. I think so. And patchouli is something that can either be like really nice for me and on my skin, or I don't like it at all. In here, I like it because it makes the perfume more intriguing and a little bit more daring, but still, I think it's an easy grab at the same time. But you do have to like roses and spices. But if you like those, I think it's a very nice one to try, because it's remaining quite fresh and easy to wear throughout the year, I would say. But especially now for fall time, I think it's perfect. This one I got quite late, but I wanted to share it with you anyway, because I think it is so beautiful and I will be wearing it when spring comes. And this is Pacific Chill by Louis Vuitton. So we are going to unpack it. I love their packaging. So this is how the fragrances come, and I haven't sprayed it on my skin. I just sprayed it on a test strip, and it's, for me, it's spring and summer in a bottle. Such a happy scent. It's very green smelling, but it has some sweetness to it. Let me look up what's in here. So this has super fun notes. It's fruity, fresh, and citrusy with sweet and green accords with apricot, orange, peppermint, ambret seed, basil, dates, figs, lemons, blackcurrant, carrot seed, coriander seed. So it smells exactly like that. It's the perfect fruity scent for summertime. A lot of times those very fruity scents lean a little bit too juvenile for me and can be a little bit cloying and annoying. And this one has the typical Louis Vuitton DNA that I typically like. And it gives it this sort of synthetic, more masculine, edgy feeling. But then it has all of those citrusy, spritzy, super sweet fruits. I think the apricot is quite loud in here. And you can also definitely get the basil and the peppermint, which makes it a little bit more interesting. I like it a lot. The Longevity and Sillage is supposed to be not the best, but as I said, I haven't tried it on my skin. I just tested it on a test strip, and there I could smell it for quite a few hours actually. But I think I will be having a lot of fun with it when spring and summer comes. If you like perfumes like L'Impératrice by Dolce & Gabbana, but it's just not as smooth and well made as you may have thought it would be, then this one is a beautiful rendition. It reminds me a little bit of Pomelo Sorrento by Gritti as well, but this one is a lot more sweet and fruity, and the other one has a very strong tea note in there. Then we have 2 new Lush perfumes, new in my collection, I mean. So I got American Cream, which I think has been out for a while. Let me see, 2011, quite a long time. And I think they have a conditioner or something in their lineup of hair care or skincare that I had in the past, and I adored the product so much that I bought it over and over and over again until I found out that they have a perfume. So I got it. I'm very conflicted because it's a very strong, quite powdery perfume, so I have to be in the mood to wear it. But it's so nostalgic for me because the time that I wore this, I think it was a conditioner, was a long time ago. But this is a sweet gourmand, creamy, powdery scent with notes of vanilla, benzoate, lavender, oranges, and strawberries. And I know that I saw all of the notes back then and I was so intrigued. And a lot of people say it smells like a milkshake, and I get what they mean, but it's like a milkshake, like a vanilla milkshake. I don't really smell the strawberry. Maybe it's like far in the back. And then someone is using those like vintagey big powder puffs to powder their face. And the powder is all in the air. This is what it smells like to me. So you have to like powdery scents. But if you do like your powdery scents, this is such a fun perfume and so elegant and something else, like nothing I've ever smelled before. And the next one, and you can see the packaging is very minimal. I hate this sound. Oh, I don't like it at all. But this is the perfume called Shade. And this is quite a new perfume for the House of Lush. It doesn't have a lot of notes in here. This has only guaiac wood, frankincense, and sandalwood in here. This is what they listed. And this, to me, is so funny because it reminds me a lot of Pour un homme de Caron by Caron, which is a fragrance my husband wears a lot and I love and adore for bedtime. It's such a comforting, cozy scent with lavender, vanilla, musk, and what else? Something else. Lavender, vanilla, musk, and something. So I don't know why they smell so alike, but I love it. This one has a more woody base to it, but it's definitely also creamy, and I think I smell something herbally, like almost like lavender-ish, and it's deep and woody and quite sweet and resinous, but not too deep. It remains quite fresh to the point of I would wear it myself, even in the springtime. It doesn't have to be like in the depths of winter time. It could be more warm and I would still wear it. It's such a beautiful scent, and what I like about Lush scents is the performance. So on me and on my husband, the performance of all of the fragrances we have from Lush is very strong. And so the Caron one is more fleeting, not as long lasting. And this one on us has a very strong performance. Then we have a perfume oil. And I heard about it because there was one event in London and I think they had like a lunch that fitted the perfumes that they presented. And this one is Halwa Kiss by Ojar, and it is alcohol free. So you twist it off like that, and it's so nice. Such a beautiful perfume. Thing is, when I was at the Amouage event, they had attar oils as well, so 100% perfume oils. I was quite afraid of those because I thought they were going to be like beast mode, super strong perfumes, but actually the ones that I smelled at least were very subdued and creamy and elegant, and not what I expected at all, and I loved it. And this one is the same. I thought that this was going to be a very strong, super sweet perfume, but it's not. It's actually quite subdued as well. It has some sweetness in there. It reminds me a little bit of Sweetie Oud by Roja, which is a perfume that I adore. And I think those two would be a match made in heaven, although the other one is beast mode on itself. But this is such a fun, creamy, quite nutty vanilla scent. There's cardamom, saffron, honey, rose, dates, roasted nuts, amber, sesame, vanilla. So it is quite spicy, but I think what I smell the most is like a very thick honeyed rose with a very beautiful vanilla and then some nuttiness in the background. It's so comforting and cozy, perfect to cuddle up during fall and winter time. The next one is a super new release by Lancôme, and this is called La Vie est Belle L'Extrait, and this is a very unexpected release for me. So La Vie est Belle is a very typical fruity floral scent with some deepness to it. It is quite strong and a lot of people love it, but I think it is more suited towards spring and summertime. And when I smelled this one, I could detect a DNA of La Vie est Belle, but just in the background, and it is so much more deep. It's quite Arabic smelling to me and perfect for fall and winter time. So if you like the DNA of La Vie est Belle, but it is a little bit too summery for you, you have to try this one because it is smelling so much more deep and seductive and sexy. It has a strong oud note in there, which was unexpected for me because you don't really get a strong oud note in a lot of designer releases. This does remind me of Oud Bouquet by Lancôme from the Privé line. It has a very similar, sexy, deep oud DNA with some florals in there, with some fruitiness, but this one is a lot more approachable, I would say, than the other one, and it's not as beast mode as the other one. But for a designer scent, it smells very unique. And if you like oud scents or you wanted to try oud for a long time, then check it out because it is quite a unique scent, as I said. The next one I want to share with you is called Paragon by Initio. This is quite a new release. It was released last year and it got quite a little hype around it. I couldn't smell it for a long time, and so I was super excited to try it out because this is a plum forward perfume and I love the note of plums in perfumes. I think it's such a fun note that makes everything more fruity, of course, but also a lot more cozy and fall and winter time appropriate. Such a fall and winter fruit. So I don't know. It reminds me of that, of course, but it is a lot more woody than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more fruity and maybe sweet, but it is not. It has quite a strong masculine vibe to it, in my opinion. Unisex leaning masculine, because there is, I think, sage in here and lavender, and both of those notes are very strong. And then you have a lot of woods, of course. I think there's black pepper in here, Palo Santo, and maybe also some oud. So I think this would be a perfect everyday scent for spring, fall, and winter, maybe not the summertime, for the office, for men. I see this one on my husband and I think it's going to be perfect because it's very elegant, very well blended, but because of those herbal touches from the sage and the lavender, I don't see myself grabbing for it a lot, but I think he will love it. Another very hot new release is Dior's J'adore L'Eau, and this smells exactly like the bottle looks like to me. I actually just sprayed it for the first time on this paper right here, and it reminds me definitely of the original. It doesn't really smell like the beloved D'Eau, that is my favorite. And actually, I think it's still my favorite, the one in the white bottle with no alcohol in it. That one has a magnolia note. This one has, I think, only jasmine, rose, and orange blossom. And all of those notes can be tricky for me. So to have all of those notes in here and nothing else is a little bit difficult for me. I feel like it smells like a nectar, and it reminds me of Mon Précieux Nectar by Guerlain actually, which is one I like a lot, but also because of those heavy florals can be tricky for me to wear. This one has this honey like thing going on. It also smells to me quite thick and not like very light and juicy and fresh, more thick and more elegant and mature. I can see this on my mom actually. I think it will suit her very well. But for me, I'm not too sure. I think I have to try it out when spring comes. For fall and winter time, I don't really see myself wearing it, but you could definitely because it is quite strong. And one thing that reminds me of a little bit is like hairspray from back in the day. I loved how they smelled. I know a lot of people say it in a negative way, but I loved how they smelled. So to me, it has a little bit almost of like the Elnet, like the original classic hairspray, but a lot more nice. This is like the most luxurious hairspray you could think of. And now that I smell it more and more, I do like it a lot. So I have to try it out. I think it would be perfect for like a spring day. The next one is also a very new release. I could easily have made another new releases, just like new releases perfumes, but anyway, I'm going to do it in this perfume haul. This is Carmina by Creed, which was a perfume I told you in one video about because I wanted to try it really bad, and I was super excited when I got it. And this is not what I expected. So this is a fruity floral sweet scent with spices. It has cherries, it has pepper in here, saffron, cashmere wood, it has peonies, musk, amber, myrrh, frankincense. It has a lot of very strong notes. I thought that this was going to be a more sweet, smoky cherry fragrance, but on me, it smells very peppery, very strong saffron with cherries in the background. You can smell this quite sour, fruity vibe, but it's not a very strong cherry forward scent. There is definitely a lot of resinous character to this perfume with the myrrh, with the frankincense, with the amber. So it leans a little bit in the Arabic direction. But then because of the florals, the May rose, the peony, the violet, it has also this lightness to it and is not as deep and heavy as it could be. Doesn't feel thick like the Dior one. This is more airy. Still, if you compare those two, because I think they do smell similar, I think this one is a more easy reach than this one. This doesn't have a very strong Arabic character to it. this one on me at least has. And then we have a very exciting new launch, which is one from Parfums de Marly, from the men's line, or I think actually it says for women and men, so I'm not too sure if they say it's unisex or what, but I do not know how to pronounce it. I think it's the brightest star, and I do not know how to pronounce it in English. Is it Althaïr, Althaïr? No idea. If you know, let me know in the comment section. But this was so hyped up before it released and before anybody could smell it, because it has so many beautiful gourmand notes. So the accords are sweet, gourmand, creamy, spicy, and woody, with notes of orange blossom, cinnamon, vanilla, elemi resin, pralines, guaiac wood, ambrox, and musk. I thought this was going to be more, I'm not sure how to say it, but more sweet even. I don't know. It is very sweet, but I just imagined something else. I'm not too sure what, but when I smelled it for the first time, it reminded me of something. And I thought of Armani's Stronger With You or something like that. I imagined Spice Bomb Extreme, and then I sprayed it on my hand, let my husband smell it, and he was like, oh, are you wearing the Trussardi one? And I was like, yes, oh my god, exactly. So this looks a lot like the other one and also smells very similar on my skin to Trussardi's Emanuele Due, which is one of my absolute favorite perfumes of all time. It's a very creamy, gourmand type of scent with some tuberose in there. And I think the orange blossom is what gives me this aspect as well. The other one has tuberose, this one has orange blossom, but they do smell quite alike. It's a very strong vanilla, very strong vanilla. With the praline, you can also detect, then there's this slight spiciness, but it's not like a spicy perfume. It's just more than a straight up vanilla. And I think the ambrox and the guaiac wood are very strong in here, which makes it very unisex, maybe masculine leaning. But if you wear unisex perfumes, you will be good. But if you like vanillas, if you like orange blossom, this is quite a unique type of DNA that I just smelled one more time because of Emanuele Due. Let me see if I wear it more than Emanuele Due, because the other one from Trussardi is one I wear all winter long, fall and winter, but especially in the winter time. But let me see if I will be wearing this as much as the other one, or if I see the differences once I wear it on my skin for a long time. And the last one for today was a surprise that I got in the mail. This is the newest flanker of Libre from Yves Saint Laurent, which is called L'Absolu Platine. And I am not the biggest fan of orange blossom mixed with lavender. I don't really wear the original Libre. I have it in my collection. I really don't wear it. The Le Parfum version is so yummy. It has a very strong saffron note, a very strong honey note. The vanilla is more pronounced, and I wear that one sometimes because it's very strong in the depths of the winter. But when I saw that one, I immediately had to try it out, because people say it's a lot more fresh. It looks very cool, and it has bergamot. It has a lot of lavender in here, mandarin, orange blossom, of course, and then it has ambergris, bourbon vanilla, and heliotrope. I don't know. To me, it smells like all of the other ones, like the Eau de Parfum, the Eau de Toilette, but maybe a little bit more masculine. It smells very herbal and cooling. It's like a cool perfume. Looks exactly how it smells like to me. It could easily be in the men's department, don't you think? I don't really see myself grabbing for it just because I have two other Libres and I wear the Le Parfum, so I don't really see an occasion where I'm picking this one instead of the other one, but I'm going to test it out on my husband and see if I like it on him and if he likes it on himself, of course. So these were all of my new perfumes in my collection. I know it was a lot, but I want to keep you updated. Let me know if you've tried any of those perfumes, what you think of them, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!